had the knowledge, but I had no discipline. And that's where everything started to fall apart. I wasn't trading the market. I was trading my emotions. Fear made me close winners too early. I'd be in profit, things finally going my way. And right when I should trust the plan, my mind would go to, don't lose this, just take it now. So I closed the trade, early. Not because the setup told me to, but because I wanted relief. And then, I'd sit there, watching price keep going, hitting my original target, without me. That feeling is worse than a loss. And if that was the only problem, it would be fixable. But it wasn't. Ego made me hold losers too long. When the trade went against me, I couldn't accept being wrong. So instead of following my rules, I started negotiating with the market. It's just a pullback. It'll come back. Let me give it a little more room. And that little more room turns into a bigger loss every time. At that point, I wasn't trading anymore. I was protecting my ego. And then comes the worst part. After a few losses like that, I'd finally get a perfect setup. Everything aligned, clean structure, volume confirmation, exactly what I've been waiting for. And I'd hesitate. Finger on the mouse, but I can't click. Because now, it's not about the setup anymore. It's about the pain from the last trades. What if this one fails too? What if I lose again? So I do nothing. And then I watch it play out perfectly, without me. That moment breaks you a little, because you realize you knew what to do and still didn't do it. And that's when it started costing me more than money. I was losing my confidence. Every loss, every hesitation made me trust myself less and less. I started second-guessing everything, even my good decisions. And I was losing my mental energy, staring at charts all day, overthinking every candle, feeling exhausted, even when I didn't take a trade. Trading wasn't just hard, it was draining me. And that's when something finally clicked. And then it clicked. The market isn't against me. It doesn't care about me. It doesn't know I exist. It just reacts to supply and demand. Buyers, sellers, nothing personal. My actions don't move the market, but my reactions control everything I do. My impatience does. My overconfidence does. My fear does. That's what makes me break my rules. And when I break my rules, I break my consistency. And the dangerous part is, you don't see it at first. Because when you tweak your rules, it feels like you're improving, like you're getting closer. But in reality, you're just resetting the process, over and over again. Every time you change something, you don't know if it's the strategy working or just a lucky outcome. And that's where most traders get stuck. Because trading is a probability game, not a yes or no game. There is no perfect setup, no guaranteed outcome, just an edge that plays out over time. So in the short term, you might make money, even doing the wrong things. And that's the trap. It reinforces bad habits, makes you think you're right. But in the long term, the market takes it back. And not just your money. It takes your confidence, your clarity, your energy. And that's when I changed something. Not the strategy, me. I stopped chasing strategies, stopped looking for the next indicator, the next setup, the next perfect edge. And I started building systems. something I could follow, even when I didn't feel like it. Checklists, before every trade. I had to prove to myself that the setup was valid. Journaling, so I could see my patterns, not just in the market, but in myself. Rules, clear, non-negotiable rules for when to enter, when to exit, and when to stay out. Because I realized something. Discipline isn't something you feel. It's something you build. And systems are what carry you when your emotions can't. Because the problem was never the market. It was me. My decisions, my reactions, my lack of structure. And once I fixed that, everything started to change. So let me leave you with this. You don't need a new strategy. You need to become a better operator. Because the problem was never the market. It was your behavior. Closing winners too early. Holding losers too long. Hesitating on the setups you were supposed to take. Breaking your own rules. Then blaming the strategy. So you start over. New strategy, new indicators, new hope. And the same cycle repeats. But the moment you realize that trading is not about being right, it's about executing consistently, that's when everything shifts. That's when you stop chasing and start building. Systems, checklists, rules that protect you from yourself. Because in the end, your edge doesn't come from the market. It comes from how you operate in it. And most people never fix that. Most traders are not failing because they don't know enough. They're failing because they can't execute what they already know.